Hello, this is Daniel Piatek. So I wanted to share this week some things that I've been thinking about and not quite sure how to share, but I'm going to try to keep this as simple as I can. But for those of you that follow astrology at all, this might be familiar to you. But this year, and I've spoken about this a little bit before, but this year, this 2019 leading into 2020, is a profound year of change for each of us personally and for us collectively. Look around, look at your own life. So I'm not going to go into all of that, but there is you can look at it from this astrological lens, from different lenses. I like the astrology lens because it kind of takes something that's very kind of like this or around me and puts a camera way out there and looks at it. So it's looking at the bigger movements of things rather than the things that just seem so personal and challenging. So this year has been a year and continues to be a year of kind of clarifying our values, getting clear about what we want and what we don't want for ourselves and our own lives personally, and then rippling out from there for the next long while. For most of us, kind of for the rest of our lives, setting the stage for, you could say, like another Saturn cycle. So it's about 30 years. Setting the stage. This has been playing out in my life this year like mad. And this last couple months has been really crazy of sifting and sorting what stays, what goes in our lives. Maybe you're experiencing that on some level. So for some of us, it's really quite obvious and profound, big changes. For most of my clients, there's quite significant changes happening. But I know for some other people, it's not so significant. But on some level, what is it that I want to be? Who is it I want to be? How do I want to be moving forward for the next long while in my life? And answering that question can look like, what's here that just isn't working anymore? So I bring that out, first of all, to just say, yep, if that's happening in your life, now's the time. So the second thing is that right now, for the month of October, we're in a time of really being pushed to make decisions. I want to kind of say in a certain way to think it's like final decisions. Like, no, this really can no longer be in my life. This particular person or relationship, this particular kind of situation, this particular way of me showing up for myself in my life. I just cannot do this job any longer. These kind of things. Is this month, the energies that we're all swimming in are pushing us to really say, okay, where do you stand in this? So I bring this up for a couple reasons. One is to hopefully give you a lens on something that can seem quite overwhelming and personal, and you just kind of understand that is what's happening now around us. I mean, just look around. Look, your life, the people around you, the around us culturally. It's happening. Get clear about where you stand, what you want. Now, I'm talking first and foremost, because this is the work that I do, you and you. You and you. What will you allow in your life? Not only in terms of the outer world, but in terms of also the views that you will continue to allow yourself to have about yourself. The ways in which you will allow yourself to be treated by others. These kinds of things. So if there are things that are happening in your life that you're having a really difficult time sorting out, I'm going to invite you to contact me and let's find a way to look at that. I have different ways that we can do that. In terms of intuitive sessions, if you're wanting something that's a little more protracted, we could set up a mentorship kind of program for you to help you to walk through, because now is the time when these energies are really turning. And the kinds of decisions that we make now are setting us up for a long while in our life. It doesn't mean that like, oh my God, there's no turning back. Please don't hear that. However, I would offer to you, I'm saying this because now is really an important time. I'm seeing it on many levels in myself, the clients I'm working with. It's just things are pushing to make changes, and looking at the astrology coming up, it's like whatever it is that we how to say this, whatever the kind of situations we align ourselves with, our inner environment about how we talk to ourselves, how we allow ourselves to be treated, these kind of things are setting up grooves that move out into the future. And so in order to set yourself up with the kinds of potential grooves that you really want, that you really, that are going to bring you what you want in your life, now is the time. And these can be really difficult decisions. I've had to make some incredibly difficult decisions in my life recently. So I'm speaking from very personal experience here. And also the clients I'm working, it's in spades in my life right now to see that this is a theme, and it's also playing itself out in the astrology. And I just kept hearing, you need to talk about this on your video this week. So basically I'm just personally telling you, look at your life, step back from it a little bit and see, okay, life is asking me to get serious here about setting myself up moving forward. So if I look at it from that perspective, meaning I probably don't want to keep letting those things slip off into the future and keep putting off having the conversations, making the decisions, making the changes. Because if you do, it's setting up grooves where in essence you will continue to have more of that. But if you make those shifts and make those decisions, you're setting up grooves moving forward into time that take you in a different space. So I am finding that already in my life, that things are moving forward very quickly after making these changes, that it's like suddenly the drag that was there because I wasn't living in the alignment with where I wanted to go, I had removed it, and then you can move. So, and that doesn't mean that those changes aren't difficult or painful. And it's actually why I did, for those of you that knew about and participated in this mini course that I gave, it was free. Actually, I'll put a link here if you want to look at it, about healing techniques and tools that are non-traditional, using the body and energy and accessing the non-conscious in non-rational ways to release stuck energy. This is why I did that, because this is work I do with my clients all the time, one-on-one. But I was realizing, because of the changes that were happening in my life so quickly, because these are practices that I do quite regularly, that I was able to not get stuck in processing, letting go of things that at one point were important to me and I realized I couldn't continue with. That these allow you to move through them very quickly. So I invite you to check out that mini course if you haven't. I give you, at the end of 3 of the 4 sessions, I give some tools to practice. And I'm also going to be offering ways for you, if you'd like, to work with me in a group situation. So it'll be shorter term and more affordable for people, to help you through making these changes right now. Because guys, I tell you, that now is the time to really set yourself up for the kind of life that you either know is there, or you have some idea of, or you're aware of because you feel burdened by life and you know there's more. Listen to all of that. That's ways for your body, for your even if you can't understand it, your body is trying to say, hey, something's got to change. So now is the time. Now is the time. This month in particular, and then moving into the end of the year. Because beginning in 2020, I'll save this for another video, but beginning in 2020, there is a big shift astrologically, and we are in for quite a time of profound changes in the next, not even decade, less than that, that will allow us to, if we align with them, come into a kind of fullness of being that we couldn't even have imagined, that we couldn't have imagined. and things are going to be changing. Things are going to be changing. We see the beginnings of it for the last few years, but as things around us, things in us begin to fall apart because we realize that they need to fall apart because something bigger, something better, something greater, something that is more inclusive is trying to be born through those structures. Those structures have to give so that the new can be born. So something new is trying to be born in you now. That's why it feels the way it feels. So for some of you, it can feel really confusing and painful. For others, not so much. But there is something new trying to be born into our world through us, through you. So if you would like some support with that, please reach out to me. And this is what I do. This is what I do for a living. It couldn't be a more glorious thing to do, is to help you come into the fullness of who you are. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me on this ride. And I really invite you to say yes to that deeper part of yourself that's trying to come through. And check out the free video series. There'll be a link that I mentioned about alternative healing techniques to access the root causes of what's keeping you from moving forward. If that speaks to you, consider joining me for a short group coaching, teaching session. We're going to do 4 sessions where I'm going to be teaching tools and techniques to heal those root causes in yourself of what's keeping you from being more confident, keeping you from getting beyond the blocks in your life, keeping you in a state of anxiety and fear, getting down to the root of it, pulling out that energy so that you can be freed. Who you already are underneath all that can be freed to express itself in life. And if you'd like some one-on-one work, please reach out to me. I would love to speak with you. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have an amazing, amazing October as you begin to make those choices that you just know are right for yourself, despite the fact that they're difficult and maybe you've been putting them off for a long time. So take it from me, who's on the other side of some really tough choices. That part of you that's wanting to grow, to expand, to become more full is right there waiting for you on the other side of letting go of the things that don't support that. So blessings to you, and here's to your best life. Bye for now.